Back in those days, holding guitar in hand, humming folk songs, and spending time making small talk among friends was an essential part of my college life. As I attended the Art Institute, I, Steve, began to immerse myself in oil painting. At that time, my girlfriend Catherine wore floral blouses and bell-bottom jeans with flair, making her a truly stylish woman. She had a determination, and her paintings stood out, promising a bright future in the art world. As for me, well, I wasn't exactly top of the class. I was an average student and often teased by peers, saying we were like chalk and cheese. Yet, Catherine would always defend me, saying, "Steve is who I have chosen, no matter what anyone says." Whenever she said that, I felt a mix of embarrassment and happiness. Plus, Steve has a charm that only I know. Oh, what kind of charm is that? The mole on your ear maybe. What? Seriously. It's sexy, you know. I loved it when she joked like that. By junior year, everyone was busy with job hunting. Catherine, however, was vigorously promoting her paintings, determined to make a living as an artist. I've secured a spot for my paintings at a gallery. That's awesome. The owner seems to really like my work. Your paintings are indeed captivating, Catherine. Motivated by her dedication, I also decided to pursue a career in painting rather than settling for a regular job. Steve, the sunsets you paint have a unique allure. Hearing Catherine's praise, I replied, "Yeah, I'm planning to sell more and more of my paintings." That's the spirit. This sunset has such a passionate red hue. The vermilion stands out. Thanks. With her encouragement, my creative drive only grew stronger. I dream of a day when we can host our own exhibition. It doesn't have to be in a grand place, but we'll display our best work, showcasing our emotions and journey at the time. Wouldn't that be wonderful? The thought of such a future with Catherine seemed so bright to me. Our college days passed by in a flash, and after graduation, we lived together for about 3 years before our marriage. We became a couple chasing the same dream. While I worked part-time jobs to make money, the rest of my time was devoted to painting and promoting my work. Catherine, on the other hand, frequently visited art dealers, held regular exhibitions, and started to gain recognition with her artwork selling well. Contrastingly, I was beginning to doubt my own talent. Your paintings, they don't really have commercial appeal. They lack vitality, you know. Hearing comments like these became all too familiar. Another dead end today. How many dealers have I visited this month? Facing the harsh reality of not being able to sell my paintings made me increasingly despondent. Catherine is starting to make a name for herself. Comparing myself to her success led to many gloomy days. Is this really where I'm meant to be? Maybe I'll never be able to sell a painting. Was I ever truly talented at painting to begin with? Even if I continue painting, there might be no future in it for me. With these thoughts, I started considering getting a regular job. And one day, I shared this with her. "Catherine, I'm thinking about getting a job at a regular company." She looked at me with wide eyes for a moment, clearly surprised, then replied nonchalantly, "Why not? That's it," I pressed. "Why should I disagree to a decision you've made, Steve? I assume you've given it a lot of thought. If that's what you want, then I understand." Irritated by her response, I snapped, "You're just looking down on me because you think you're talented, aren't you? You shouldn't be so self-deprecating. I'm just saying I shouldn't interfere with your personal decisions. You're a successful artist, Catherine. You don't understand how I feel. Why? Why do you have to say it like that? It's tough, you know, being with you, always comparing myself. I don't think I can be with you any longer. We don't even have kids. Maybe we should get a divorce while we still can." Catherine, looking down, replied softly, "If that's what you want, Steve, then okay." Her casual acceptance left me stunned. I thought, if we're going to get a divorce, It's best if both parties agree and understand why. The next day, I went to the city hall to pick up the divorce papers, signed them, packed my things, and left our apartment. After leaving Catherine, I rented a place with the little money I had and desperately searched for a job, but reality was harsher than I'd imagined. What did you do after graduating from art school? I worked part-time at restaurants and tried to promote and sell my paintings at art dealerships. Even when I passed the document screenings and got an interview, the interviewers often looked unimpressed after seeing my resume. What's their deal? Why invite me for an interview if they're just going to react like that? How many rejections have I had this month? Geez, job hunting is just as tough. Maybe I should just settle for day labor. But just when I thought that, someone from a printing company, who appreciated my background, approached me. We've been looking for someone with design skills. Please work for us. Thank you. I'll do my best. My art school lessons and design principles had finally paid off. I was grateful for landing a job after all the struggle. I've got to keep pushing on. From then on, I worked relentlessly to make up for lost time. Day in and day out, I was engrossed in my job. I didn't hang out with friends or drink. I just worked late every night. Today, there's issues talked about overwork, but back then, I just thought it was normal to work all hours. Of course, relationships and any thoughts of remarrying were the furthest things from my mind. Aren't you ever going to remarry, Steve? Every time someone asked, I would think of Catherine. I wonder what she's doing now. Though I cared for her, I knew we could never meet again. She's probably found someone else by now. I tried to accept the harsh reality by thinking that way. Before I knew it, 40 years had passed since I'd started working, and suddenly, I was 65 and ready for retirement. I've aged so much. Staring into the bathroom mirror, I let out a deep sigh. I hardly recognized the man with thinning white hair and a face full of wrinkles staring back at me. I'd considered leaving the company, but they offered to keep me on as a contract worker. With more free time on my hands, I started frequenting a local bar and, for the first time at 65, learned how to truly enjoy a drink in a relaxed, friendly atmosphere. Welcome, Steve. Your usual spot at the counter is free. The little diner in the neighborhood was run by a lone lady owner who patiently listened to the regulars vent and sometimes chatter. Steve, you used to paint, right? You mentioned it once before. Oh, that was decades ago. The topic the lady owner brought up caught the attention of a regular named Sam. I'd love to see your paintings, Steve. I can't really paint anymore. I replied with a wry smile, and the lady owner asked again. But skills like that aren't easily forgotten, right? I wonder. Show me next time. It seems Sam really wants to see my paintings. If I get the chance. When would that chance be? The lady owner changed the subject. Oh, by the way, Steve. Yeah, a friend of mine is having an exhibition at a gallery. You should check it out, she said, offering a postcard. A group exhibition titled Nostalgia. There are some really impressive pieces. You should go see. Come to think of it, I haven't seen any art in a long time. Haha, I don't get art at all. Then, Sam, you wouldn't get Steve's paintings either. But Steve's paintings are great because they're Steve's. Sam, what's that supposed to mean? Come on, it's our friendship, isn't it? You have a point. I'll check it out on my day off. A few days later, I visited the gallery mentioned on the postcard. In a cozy space, there were a few paintings and sculptures on display. Paintings are really something. I was feeling nostalgic. While I was slowly looking at the artworks, my gaze fixed on one painting. It has such a powerful presence. With a fiery red sun as its backdrop, their eyes shone eerily prominent. I was drawn to the painting, unable to look away. Do you like that painting? a woman standing in front of me asked. Yes, I used to paint myself. Seeing these vibrant red tones reminded me of that, though of course I couldn't bring out this level of intensity. I then glanced at the nameplate of the artwork. Taken aback by the surprise, I caught my breath. The name written there was that of my ex-wife. Wait, Catherine. The woman looked puzzled and continued. Do you happen to know Catherine? We dated in college, then got married, but divorced soon after. It's been 40 years since our divorce. Oh my God, are you Steve? Yes, I am. I see. She whispered and continued her story. This is a painting by my friend, Catherine. She passed away from cancer at the young age of her 30s. We're displaying it today in her memory. What? She passed away? No way. I was so shocked, I couldn't find the words. She talked about you until the very end. Catherine did. Catherine always regretted thinking that she might have crushed your talent. What? She was tormented by the thought that the more she pursued her art, the more you felt cornered. That can't be. She said she had no choice but to break up with you because she couldn't stand to see you suffer. I had no idea Catherine had been so concerned about me. I was overwhelmed with emotion and at a loss for words. Steve, I have something to give you. To me? Yes. She brought out a set of oil painting tools from the back. These are the art materials Catherine used. I'm sure she'd want you to have them. But I've given up on painting. I've hung up my brushes. Steve, when she painted this, Catherine said she wanted to recreate the vibrant red you used to paint with so passionately. I was speechless. She believed that if she could capture that shade of red, it might bring back memories of that time. Oh, Catherine, please paint again, for Catherine's sake. She would have wished for it. With that, she handed me the art materials. Only the red paints are used up. I looked at Catherine's painting again. She too looked at the artwork. Catherine must have put her heart and soul into the color red. Yeah, it's such a powerful red. Holding the vermilion paint, I couldn't hold back my tears. Later, I set up a canvas at home and started sketching, inspired by an old drawing of Catherine. It's been decades since I last painted. My skills are rusty. Looking at the sketch, memories flooded back. If you're going to paint, make it beautiful. She had shyly said that while posing for me. Catherine's face flashed in my mind. I'll paint you as the radiant beauty you are. Wow, Steve, this painting of a woman is so full of energy. It's a masterpiece. Come on, Sam, you always know what to say. From then on, I started painting again, and today I rented a small gallery to showcase the paintings I did for Catherine. At the center of the room was a large canvas with Catherine painted in it, shining passionately against a bright red sunset.